Hong Kong, great for shopping, eating, but more importantly, great for photography. This is the DRTV Guide to Hong Kong, a video showing you the places that we like to film, some things worth seeing, and where you can get maximum trolley action for your money. First, we start off with a place that sounds like the centre of all that's interesting in Hong Kong, simply because it's called Central. For the most part, it's true. Here you can find men in suits, women in suits, there's even a shop that I got a suit from last time. But there is some interesting stuff that doesn't involve suits. Central is where the British first landed, and Possession Street marks the point where the Brits first took formal possession of Hong Kong, hence the name. Fellow Brit Lara Jade landed in Central too, to take pictures of a really tall lady. If you don't have a tall lady with you, then you've still got plenty of stuff to photograph here. Take the mid-level escalators up to SoHo, then walk your way down the hill, unless you're one of those sporty types that likes wearing those testicle-compromising sports clothing all day, in which case walk your way up. Psycho.
Pre-wedding photographers come to take photos.
There's plenty of buildings and scenes that juxtapose the old with the new, great for making tenuous metaphors about how Leica M's are the perfect blend of old world charm with new world function. Work nice. Even the live view and focus peaking work neatly, but those features might seem like unnecessary complication. I like the markets along Gage Street. It's nice to weave your way through these tight streets packed with people selling meat, fruit and other stuff that you shouldn't consume. Skip Lam Kwai Fong because for the most part it's crap. Do walk along Stanley Street however, where you will see a row of shops selling old cameras and stuff, and a tea house where a businessman got assassinated while eating his breakfast in 2002.
Google it, I'm not going to tell you. Well, I'll tell you then. Some guy got shot there, assassinated because he...
Make the journey to neighbouring Sheung Wan where you will see My Building, and lots of old world Hong Kong charm by the bucket load. Forget Wingley Street, its best days have long gone. They were a row of beautifully decrepit old houses, having now been renovated to look a little like something from a theme park. If you want to marvel at an old building that has been redone nicely, then go to Wan Chai and have a look at the pawn. We took Philip Bloom here for some British style refreshments.
Look at the size of that. Holy shit.
Because he didn't like eating oxcock.
As of now.
Yeah. This is the place where we shot the Barbie nunchuck scene. A perfect backdrop as Wan Chai is seedy in parts, with one long street of hostess bars, a euphemism for whatever you like depending on how much you pay. Probably a bit risky to take photos around here, but there are some less dangerous but gritty scenes to take photos of. You might even bump into photographer Mark Chung here. Here's a little secret, his studio is based
Mark.
here. Shh, don't tell anybody.
What a coincidence. We just happened to bump into Mark when we're making a video. That's handy. I heard you...
In fact, Hong Kong is so tiny you might bump into anyone, anywhere.
That's Uden! Hey! No picture.
That's what happened in this unscripted scene where we met titanium skulled action man Graham Uden in the middle of Causeway Bay. If you're a hipster, you'll feel at home here. If you like taking photos of hipsters, then this is like visiting an aquarium of all of the rarest, some almost extinct breeds of hipsters around. I don't really fall into the latter category, although some might say I fall into the former category. There's no evidence to prove that though. Anyway, not really my favourite area for shooting. Definitely visit CC at Filme. She has a really top collection of film cameras and a whole variety of different films here. In fact, she has a world record for the largest amount of unprocessed films. Enough said. Talking about world records and non-mainstream attire wearing peeps, Mong Kok is probably the ultimate place to go because not only is it a hipster haunt, but this area also has a Guinness World Record for the most densely populated area in the world. More drop crotch wearing trendsetters here than you can shake a selfie stick at. Head towards Langham Place, but don't bother going in unless you need to use their toilets for a number 1 or number 2. Otherwise go behind, around the back of the mall where there are several good streets for street photography. If you don't mind weaving through the crowds, there's plenty to see, with market stalls lining the streets and lots of different walks of life on display ready for you to take photos of. Zach Arias loved it here, with his cheap camera challenge. He even made some new friends too.
Alright.
But for me, the ultimate in quirky, old school, cool Hong Kong, it has to be Sham Shui Po. This place is mint. If it has to be street photography, I think this is one of the first places I think of. For some, this is a place to go to buy random electronics and gadgets that you don't really need, or visiting the Golden Centre for computer-related things. I much prefer the action on the streets. It's the backdrop of the old crumbling tenement housing with the hustle and bustle of the markets and things happening by the roadside that do it for me. There's plenty of meat to chew on, or to take photos of, and perhaps even persuade you to be a vegetarian for a few days.
Fucking blood splatter all over my jeans. That's fucking disgusting.
I think I'll be eating vegetarian today. Ugh.
But then you're brought back to the modern era with all those bloody LEDs flashing everywhere, and the old fella's perusing through a selection of porn DVDs hidden in pots and pans. This is the taste of Hong Kong, if there was one.
I love how they put the pots and pans out there, and they put the porn in the pans so you can look at the porn in the pans, and it just looks like you're looking at pans, not porn.
And if you literally want a taste of Hong Kong, well, you can either lick the street, or you can eat at Michelin-starred Tim Ho Wan here for some very good dim sum in a very modest looking setting. Just before we talk about my favourite area, here are some worthy mentions. Sha Tin. The name looks shit, and it does look a bit shit, but oh, that river. It may be filled with crap and shopping trolleys, but from far away, it looks not too bad. The singing is bad here too. How do I know?
Much better range than her singing, by the sound of it.
Sai Kung. We took some landscapes on the way to Sai Kung, and Sai Kung is a great place to have a toss in public. But it's got some interesting stuff to see here, mostly involving fish, or you can get a boat to a rock in the middle of the sea if you like that sort of thing. The Peak. We took Vincent Lafayette there, Sean Lee Davis tried to throw me off the edge, and of course Chase Jarvis went up there. The view is amazing at night, when there isn't any haze, otherwise there's bugger all to do up there. There are plenty of other locations, but most people probably stopped watching by now. But for those who haven't, this is my favourite location in Hong Kong. Tsim Sha Tsui, also known as TST. There is something for everyone here. Shopping, touristy stuff, shopping, great areas for street photography, shopping, ugly buildings, shopping, and swanky hotels. This is tourist central, especially if you're from China. The typical tourist will take photos of the Hong Kong skyline by the harbour and then queue up for tea at the peninsula. Only one of them is worth doing, and it's not the tea at the peninsula. It's boring and dry. Go elsewhere for better afternoon tea. The tourists are what I find interesting to photograph though. The culture of the nouveau riche from China washing their cash in the luxury brand boutiques, or the frenzy over a point of interest that they want to take photos of.
This is a crossing just outside Chungking Mansions. Yeah, it's just another crossing, but there are loads of people crossing across this crossing, as you can see. So it's probably good for street photography or time lapses, which we've done right here before. Also good if you want to buy a watch or suit. You just stand over there and about 20 people will try to sell you one, even if you don't want one.
You can go west of Nathan Road towards Canton Road to take photos of more tourists going crazy over handbags, watches and milk powder, or you can head east for a grid of good streets for street photos.
And this is the place where we took Eric Kim to do some street photography. What's up, street dogs? Great thing about TST is that it's incredibly commercial, just like Central, but it doesn't have the same slickness. If you want to get some Panerai watches or Panerai straps or some vintage Leicas, here's a shop. 9 days, 9 Maiali. Yeah.
Last time Bellamy, Japan Camera Hunter Hunt and I visited Fotopia at the winning shopping arcade. That name is 100% win. A small place in the most unexpected of places. You'll find some amazing film gear here in top condition too.
I could just wander around these streets all day. Loads of things happening. If it wasn't ball-sweatingly hot like it is today. Aircon. There's plenty of the old stuff and there's loads of new stuff with all these shopping malls jammed in between. Cheap food, and you can get a body tune, which is probably a euphemism for paid sex. Oh, gold Pentax.
Champagne Court. There's no court here and there's no champagne.
All good friend again. Still an all good friend.
We have been here too many times.
We've been there loads of times. Good people.
What these shops lack in presentation they make up for with variety. I mean, it's kind of crazy the kind of rare camera gear or watches you'll see here literally piled up on top of each other.
But you have to love this place, Champagne Court. You've got really expensive lenses and cameras, and then really expensive watches, just chucked around like that. $148,500. Bam. Almost falling off the edge.
Where does the DRTV team eat dim sum in TST? We go to Serenade by the harbour front. Not because it's good, it really isn't that great. It's affordable, almost always easy to get a seat, and got a pretty great view too. After that, keep shooting and shopping into the night when the neon lights change the atmosphere of the place completely. Take more photos here, or you could take the Star Ferry to go back to the first location on this list, Central, and do everything all over again.